Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today's Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. Today we're going to recap the Monday Night Football doubleheader, and then we'll recap the baseball from yesterday. It was only 4 games. Look ahead to tonight's games in baseball. Or actually, there's a matinee game today. Then we have soccer, WNBA playoffs. We have baseball power rankings, the portfolio, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with Monday Night Football. We have the doubleheader. One game was an absolute blow. The other game was actually pretty entertaining. The Bills absolutely destroyed the Jaguars 47-10. So Fab 5 week 3, 4-1. So Fab 5 through 3 weeks in the NFL is 9-6. So that's pretty good. And the Commanders upset the Bengals 38-33. And by the way, the Bills are now 3-0. The Jaguars are 0-3. The Commanders are a surprising 2-1. The Bengals are a shocking 0-3 after losing 2 home games as significant favorites. Maybe they just aren't as good as we thought. Maybe the Commanders are better than we thought. And we crapped on them last week because the Giants didn't have a kicker, right? They might actually be pretty good. That game might have actually given them some confidence. And then the Jaguars are just an abomination. And the Bills look like the team to beat right now, in my opinion. Now I'll go over the baseball from yesterday and look ahead to tonight. Phillies over the Cubs 6-2. Red Sox over the Jays 4-1. Mariners over the Astros 6-1. Giants over the Diamondbacks 6-3. Now, today's game's 1 o'clock. You have the Rays at the Tigers. They had to move the start time because of severe weather in Detroit. It's Ryan Popoy and Tariq Skubal. Skubal will pitch on the last day of the season, probably, which is awesome. Potentially, they might have to skip somebody in their rotation if, they don't have to skip anybody, so that's good. So that works out that way for them. Tigers minus 172, Rays plus 144, over under 6.5, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Rays plus 1.5 is minus 52. Tigers minus 1.5 plus 126. Under. 6:30 Cubs Phillies. Justin Steele and Tanner Banks. Cubs minus 120. Phils plus 102. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Cubs minus 1.5 plus 120. Phils plus 1.5 minus 146. The Cubs are favored, and they're just ridiculous. I'll just lay the run line. It's just a letdown spot for the Phils. So Vegas knows. Reds, Guardians, Jacob Junis, and Tanner Bibbe. Guardians minus 168, Reds plus 142, over under 7.5, overs minus 120, unders minus 102, Reds plus 1.5 minus 152, Guardians minus 1.5 plus 126, like the under. Guardians still playing for the 1 seed, by the way. Brewers, Pirates, Tobias Myers, and Bailey Falter. Brewers minus 138, Pirates plus 118, over under 8, minus 110 each way. Brewers minus 1.5 plus 114. Pirates plus 1.5 minus 137. I'm going to take Pittsburgh outright plus 118. 6:45 Royals Nats. Cole Reagans, Mitch Parker. Royals minus 162. Nats plus 136. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Royals minus 1.5 even money. Nats plus 1.5 minus 120. I'm going to lay the run line with the Royals for that one. 7 o'clock. The biggest series, I think, in the American League at least. National League has a bigger one. O's Yankees. We thought this was going to be the biggest series, but it's not because the Yankees pulled away from the O's in the division. It's Clark Schmidt and Dean Kremer. Yanks minus 164. O's plus 138. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. O's plus 1.5 is minus 140 or 152. Yankees minus 1.5 plus 128. I'm going to go with the... Oh, that's a hard one. We'll go with the over, but I don't feel good about it. Because Clark Schmidt's been pretty good for the Yankees this year. By the way, the game's on TBS. Red Sox Jays from Toronto, Brian Balo and Dallas Francis. Jays minus 126, Red Sox plus 108, over under 8, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Boston plus 1.5 is minus 205, Jays minus 1.5 plus 168. I'm going Boston outright plus 108. Mets Braves 720, Luis Severino and Spencer Schwellenbach. So this is the Mets' first time in Atlanta since April. Braves minus 136, Mets plus 116, over under 8, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Mets plus 1.5 is minus 166, Braves minus 1.5 I like the Mets at plus 116. Angels White Sox 7-3. Jack Knocknovitz, Jonathan Cannon. Angels minus 120. White Sox plus 102 over under 8.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Angels minus 1.5 plus 104. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 62. I like the Angels at even money. Marlins, Twins. Ryan Weathers and Bailey Ober. Twins minus 240. Marlins plus 198. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 124. Unders plus 102. Marlins plus 1.5 and Twins minus 1.5. That's minus 110 each way. So I'm laying the run line with Minnesota. They need the game. Mariners, Astros. Logan Gilbert and Framber Valdez. Astros minus 134. Mariners plus 116. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 8. Unders minus 112. M's plus 1.5 is minus 194. Astros minus 1.5 plus 160. I like the under. Cards, Rockies at 8:30. Michael McGreevy and Ryan Feltner. Cards minus 118. Rockies even money over under 10.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Cards minus 1.5 plus 15. Rocks plus 1.5 is minus 140. I like the under minus 104. Giants, Diamondbacks 9:30. Logan Webb and Brandon Pfaadt. D-backs minus 142. Giants plus 120 over under 8.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 196. Diamondbacks minus 1 plus 146. Like the over at even money. Rangers, A's. Nate Eovaldi, Rich Spence. Rangers minus 112. A's minus 102 over under 7.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Rangers minus 1.5 plus 148. A's plus 1.5 is minus 170. I'm going to lay the minus 116 with Texas. Last but not least, biggest series of the week. 10 o'clock, TBS, Padres, Dodgers, NL West. Michael King, Landon Knack. Padres are plus 104. Dodgers are minus 122. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Padres minus 1.5 plus 64. Dodgers plus 1.5 is minus 100. I like the under a lot at minus 114. Over the notable soccer results from yesterday and look ahead to today. All right, women's soccer league, Angel City, Portland 2-2 draw. So best bet was a loser. La Liga, Mallorca over Betis 2-1. We actually have La Liga today, 1 o'clock. You have Sevilla and Valladolid. Just gonna pull up the lines really quickly for this. Ooh, Europa League Wednesday. That's good to know. Sevilla minus 160 Valladolid. Plus 52 plus 70 is the draw. I'm going to do over 6 goals plus 104. Valencia, Osasuna. Valencia's plus 5. Osasuna plus 90 is the draw. To 1. Valencia's all the way down 19th, and Osasuna is an 8th. I don't get. Actually, no, I do understand why Valencia is favored. I'm actually going to go to Toronto at 2-1, and then Real Madrid and Alaves at 3. Real Madrid's minus 700. Alaves is 15-1. The draw's plus 650. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 120. We have a Serie A game. Atalanta minus 220. Como is 5-1. The odds plus 40. Atalanta should win. They're favored. We'll go 1.5 goals at plus 20. I think there was something else today too in soccer. Eredivisie. No Champions League until next Tuesday the 1st. Oh, we had the Saudi Kings Cup. Al Fayha over Al Batin 4-0. Al Nasser over Al Hassim 2-1. Al Taya over Al Khalij 5-2. Al Etifaq over Al Adala 2-0. Al Jandal over Al Ali 2-1. All right, today 11:30. Bukhari and Al Hilal. Al Hilal's winning that. 11:45. Al Jabalin and Al Fateh. We'll go Al Fateh. 2 o'clock. Al Khalud. Al Shabab. We'll go Al Shabab. And then 2 o'clock also Al Idiad and Al Ain. We're going to go with Al Idiad. Right, we have Europa League league phase on Wednesday. So we'll do that on the Wednesday podcast. I feel like there was something else in soccer. Just want to double check. We have the Italian Cup. U.S. Lecce and Sassuolo. Lecce minus 120, Sassuolo is 3-1. The draws plus 250. We're going to do over 2.5 goals at minus 116. And then at 12:30 of Cagliari and Cremonese. Cagliari minus 120, Cremonese is plus 310, the draws plus 250. We're going to do over 2.5 goals at minus 110. And then that's the, wait, is there another one for the Italian? Yeah, 3 o'clock, Torino and Empoli. Torino minus 135, Empoli's plus 380, the draws plus 240. We're going to do over 2.5 goals at minus 108. Okay, now move on to the WNBA playoffs. We'll go over the games being played tonight. We have 2 game 2s. 2 teams on the brink of advancing and 2 teams on the brink of being eliminated. 7:30 ESPN Dream Liberty from Barclays. The New York Liberty in this spot are giving 12.5 totals, 155.5. I'll lay the points. Liberty are better than the Dream. The Liberty are not being cute and looking ahead to a potential match with Vegas. So I'm going to lay the points. And 9:30 ESPN Storm Aces. Aces are giving 7.5 totals, 159.5. I'm going to take Seattle in the points just for them to hang around. I don't know if Vegas is going to blow them out. I think Seattle keep it close. So I'm going to take the Storm getting 7.5 against the Aces. Okay, now I'm going to do my MLB power rankings. So we're just going to talk about what every team is going to be doing to close the season. And talk a little bit about, like, what the playoff teams have to do for a season to be a success. All right, 30 is the White Sox. You knew they were going to be 30. They're the worst team I've ever seen in baseball, if not in all sports. And all my years covering sports. So, coming up to close the season, they're home Angels and at Tigers. They're going to break the loss record. That's inevitable. Their season is the biggest failure ever. Not that they were going to be good anyway, but, like, they weren't even trying. The owners doesn't know what he's doing. And they're a big market team that's just probably one of the most embarrassing seasons I've ever seen from a big market team, if not the most. Like, they're so bad. 29 is the Miami Marlins. And by the way, the White Sox record, 36 and 120. God, they're so bad. All right, the Marlins 57 and 99. They are 3-7 in their last 10. By the way, Chicago, same thing. Losers of 5 straight. Marlins lost back-to-back. To close the season, Miami. I feel like they played today. No, they don't. They're at the Twins and at the Blue Jays, so no more home games for the Marlins this season. Their season's a failure. They were in the playoffs a year ago. Nobody thought they were going to be this bad. Number 20 is the Colorado Rockies. They are 60-96 on the year. 6-4 in their last 10, so they haven't been bad in their last 10 games. The closest season, they're home Cardinals and home Dodgers. Wouldn't be shocked if they won a couple games. Their Dodgers might have everything racked up. Cardinals are in the playoffs. Their season's obviously a failure to the Rockies because, I mean, what a respectable season for them is 74 wins, 75 wins. 27 is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. 63-93 on the season. 27 their last 10. They're a mess. They close the season at White Sox, home Rangers. their season's a failure too. No more Ohtani. Trout isn't the same player anymore. Number 26 is the Oakland Athletics, 67-89 on the season, 3-7 in their last 10. I can't call their season a success, really. But their second half has been a success. If that want to make sense of that, their second half has been a success, but not their season. If that, in a weird way, makes sense. They've been very spunky in the second half for a team that might get to 70 wins. So to close the season, they're the home Rangers at Mariners, so they might get the 70. They might. Next up, 25 is the Washington Nationals, 69-87 on the season. They were a little better than expected early on, but they fell apart. 4-6 in their last 10. They had some dysfunction going on recently. Home Royals, home Phillies to close the season. So if there's a more likely team to get to 7, I feel like it's Oakland. The Nats have a tough schedule to close the season, but yeah, their season's not a success either. Number 24 is the Toronto Blue Jays. They are 73-84 on the season. 4-6 in the last 10, losers of 4 straight. They're going to finish in last place in the division for the first time since 2013. That's according to MLB Network, and it makes sense, though. Their season's a huge failure. I thought this was a possible playoff team before the season. To close the season, home Red Sox, home Marlins. So maybe in their last 5, they have a chance to dodge double digits under 500, but that's not even likely. Next up, number 23 is the Pittsburgh Pirates, 73-83 on the season, 3-7 in their last 10. Their season's not a success either. A lot of people thought that this team could have been a sleeper in that division, let alone a playoff sleeper. Closed the season, home Brewers at Yankees. So they might get the 75. If the Yankees have everything wrapped up by them, maybe they win that series. Who knows? But we'll see if Paul Skeens wins Rookie of the Year or not. 22 is the Texas Rangers, 74-82 on the season. Their season's a big disappointment in my mind. Obviously, coming off a World Series and finishing with a losing record the next year. Really good home team, but bad on the road. 4-6 in their last 10. They closed the season 3 at Oakland, 3 at the Angels. I mean, they're not going to have a winning record. That's sad. 21 is the Cincinnati Reds, who made a stunning managerial change before the end of the season. 76-81 on the season. 5-5 in their last 10, plus 14 run differential. So the Reds, you can make a case, weren't that bad. So 2 at the Guardians and then 3 at the Cubs to close the season. They're probably not going to win 5 straight to finish at 500. But their season's a disappointment too. There's people that picked them to make the playoffs. But that's going to be a popular bounce back for next year because they're going to see the positive run differential, weak division. You know that deal. Number 20 is the San Francisco Giants, 77-79 on the season. -7 run differential. They've won 3 straight, 5-5 in their last 10. They're eliminated to they closed the season 3 at Arizona and then 3 at home against the Cardinals. I mean, could they finish over 500? Maybe. But we'll see about that. But that's still not a successful season. It's the San Francisco Giants. To me, they were playoff or bust. 19, St. Louis Cardinals, 79-77 on the season. Eliminated from playoff contention. -59 run differential, 5-5 in their last 10. To close the season, 3 at Colorado, 3 at San Francisco. They'll probably finish with a winning record. And by the way, I messed up on the Giants' record, 78-79. I said the wrong number. But the Card season's a disappointment. They're the St. Louis Cardinals. And listen, I know everyone's like, oh, they might finish with a winning record. Not as, I'll put it this way. Last year was a disaster by their standards. Still a disappointment. They weren't that much better than last year. 18, the Boston Red Sox. They are 79-78 on the season. Still mathematically alive for the playoffs. Plus 12 run differential. Winners of 3 straight, 5-5 in their last 10. So the Red Sox, not a bad team this year. So Alex Cora did a good job this year. 3 at the Blue Jays, 3 home race. They're probably going to finish with a winning record. But let's be honest. This is the Boston Red Sox. If they're not in the playoffs this season, it's a disappointment. It's like the Cardinals. 17 is the Tampa Bay Rays. 78-78 on the season, still alive in the playoffs. 0.5% chance. Minus 55 run differential. They've played well. 7-3 in their last 10, winners of 4 straight. They closed the season at the Tigers for 3 and at the Red Sox for 3. So there's a chance they finish with a losing record. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Tigers obviously playing for their playoff lives. Boston, that's going to be a mess series. But their season's also a disappointment because they've been a contender the last several years under Kevin Cash. 16, the Chicago Cubs. 80-77 on the year, eliminated from playoff contention. Plus 63 run differential, 5-5 in their last 10. So, I mean, the Cubs, I don't think are as good as their run differential suggests. They're going to be everybody's darling in that division next year because of the manager and because they're the big market Chicago Cubs. So they close the season 3 at Philly and in home Reds. So we'll see if they finish with a winning record. That Red series at home says probably will. And they'll probably pick off Philly once. Especially if the fact that they won the division last night. So the Cubs would be a decent bet to win outright tonight against the Phils. So that'd be 81. And you need another one after that. So they're probably going to finish with a winning record. But still, not good enough. You're the Cubs. 15, the Seattle Mariners. 81-76 on the season. Still alive in the playoff mix. 6.7% chance to make it. 7-3 in their last 10. To close the season at the Astros. Home A's. So they're going to finish with a winning record, probably. But to me, Mariners are not. They have to make the playoffs for me to have a successful season. 14, the Minnesota Twins. 81-75 on the season. Plus 23 run differential. 3-7 in their last 10. 53.9% chance of the playoffs. So they have a decent percentage at the playoffs. Which is absurd. Because Cleveland, the Yankees clinch. Baltimore's going to get in. So that's 3. Houston, that's 4. Why are they over 50% if 2 teams in their division that are not the Guardians have a higher percentage of them? That doesn't make sense to me. So to close the season, 3 at home against the Marlins in a huge series at home against the O's. So if they're mathematically in that O's series, that's going to be really interesting. But yeah, to me, they have to make the playoffs too. They have a lot of talent. Number 13 is the Atlanta Braves. 85-71 on the season. Plus 89 run differential. 6-4 in the last 10. 41.2% chance to make the playoffs. Very unlikely for them. They're having the year from hell. Home for the Mets for 3 and then home Royals. So that's a hard schedule. I don't think they're going to get the 90. They might end up at 88 and not make the playoffs. But, I mean, yeah, it's a disappointing season considering that the expectations are so high, and they've had so many injuries, so they're going to be a popular division pick next year with their guys coming back, but still disappointing year, too many injuries. 12 is the Kansas City Royals, 82-74 on the season, plus 86 run differential. They've lost 7 straight games, 2-8 in their last 10. I feel like that's a team that, as the Yankee fan right here, wants to see in the first round. Because let's be honest, they're kind of a one-man offense. And there's only one guy I'm afraid of in that offense. I mean, their pitching has regressed. I mean, like, they might not even make the playoffs. The Twins might pass them. Then again, if it's the Twins the first round, that's going to be a treat. I don't want to get ahead of myself as a Yankees fan, though. But KC to close the season, 3 at the Nats, 3 at the Braves. So they're probably going to get in because their schedule's easy. But to me, the Royals' season's a success already because they have a winning record. That's a successful season. Number 11 is the Detroit Tigers. 82-74 on the season, plus 37 run differential, 7-3 in their last 10. Winners of 2 straight. Their season's already a success in my mind, too. They're going to finish with a winning record. Home Rays for 3. Home White Sox for 3. That White Sox series should be a sweep. If they don't beat... they need to go 4-2. Minimum. Because I think that KC has an easier schedule, even though the White Sox are on the Tigers schedule, but the Rays are the toughest opponent of those teams. I mean, you could argue Atlanta, but they have so many injuries. Number 10 is the Atlanta Braves, the Milwaukee Brewers. I already talked about the Braves. So the Brewers are NL Central champs, 89-67 on the season. Plus 124 run differential, 5-5 in their last 10. They close the season at Pittsburgh, home Mets. So are they locked into 3? They are probably going to end up the 3 seed. I don't see a scenario where they pass them. It's not a lock yet, but that's where it looks like it's headed. It looks like they're going to be playing the 6th seed in the National League, whether that's the Mets, ironically enough, who they played last week of the season, or somebody else. Diamondbacks, that'd be rematch of last year. Brewers season success already. Nobody picked them to win the division. A lot of people had them in last. I think I might have had them in last, honestly, but everybody overlooks them each and every year. Even now with the new manager, they deserve a lot of credit. 9's the Arizona Diamondbacks. 87-69 of the season, plus 104 run differential, 5-5 in their last 10. To me, that's going to be a hard one. I know in theory you're going to say they have to get back to the World Series because they were there last year. They at least have to win it, but that was kind of a fool's gold run, and you could argue this year's team is better than last year's team. So I think the successful season for the Diamondbacks is going back to at least the NLCS. So, close the season, home Giants, home Padres. That home Padres series might determine the seeding in the National League wild card. And by the way, the Dodgers have yet to clinch the division yet. 8 is the New York Mets. 87-69 on the season. Plus 82 run differential, 7-3 in their last 10. Looks like they're going to make the playoffs, so they close the season at the Braves for 3 and at the Brewers for a hard schedule, but they should get that done. They're better than both of those teams, in my opinion. And Mets season, as long as they're in the playoffs, to me it's a success. Because if they collapse and don't make the playoffs, their season's a failure because it is the New York Mets. Number 7 is the Baltimore Orioles, 86-70 on the season. I was debating on flipping them and the Mets, but they didn't. Baltimore 3-7 in their last 10, plus 76 run differential. So they close the season 3 at the Yankees, and then 3 at Minnesota. That's a hard schedule, but they're locked in. They're going to be locked into that 4 seed, and they'll play that second place AL Central team. The magic number for the Yanks to clinch that division is 1. So Baltimore probably not winning that division. The Yankees should wrap it up tomorrow, in all honesty. But yeah, the O's to me have to make the somebody say the World Series, but I'm going to say the ALCS for them to have a successful season, because they did not win the division, and it'd be harder for them to get to the World Series. And they are a team that was not as good as we thought they were going to be. Let's be honest. They're not as good as everybody thought they were, including myself. So I'll take the L on that. Number 6 is the Houston Astros, 85-72 on the season, 6-4 in their last 10, although they did lose back-to-back. I probably should have went O's-Mets, or Astros-O's-Mets, in that 6, 7, 8 order. Yeah, the Astros have lost back-to-back. So they closed the season 3 at home against the Mariners and 3 at the Guardians. They're pretty much locked in the third. They've yet to clinch the division, which is crazy. They have to go to the World Series. They're World Series or bust. They're the Houston Astros. They've been the best team over the past decade in the whole sport. Them and then the Dodgers. And then probably the Braves, and then I'd say the Yankees. They've probably been the best. Or the Dodgers, obviously. Oh wait, I mentioned them already. Have been the best teams over the past decade, and yeah, they're World Series or bust as long as that core's still together. Number 5 is the San Diego Padres. They are 90-66 on the season, plus 97 run differential. Winners of 4 straight, 8-2 in their last 10. Looks like they're going to get into the playoffs. They're probably going to be the 4th seed, and they'll play either the D-backs or the Mets, which would be really, really fun, because it's like the Phillies' ALCS opponents the last 2 years, or a rematch with the Mets from that same playoffs, right? That was 2020. Yeah, 2022 playoffs was Padres Mets in the wild card series. So they may have a rematch with the Mets. So 3 at the Dodgers and then 3 at the Diamondbacks. Their schedule's hard, so they're not a lock for that 4th seed by any stretch of the imagination. Dodgers trying to clinch that division. The Padres are 3 back. So that division's not done yet. The Yankees are probably going to wrap up that division before the Dodgers possibly wrap up that division. And then Padres for me, NL. You can make a case they have to win a round, but I don't think a lot of people had them in the playoffs for the year because of Juan Soto getting traded. So, to me, their season's already a success. Number 4 is the Cleveland Guardians. 90-67 on this season. Winners of the division, 6-4 in their last 10, plus 83 run differential. Their season, I think because of the Shane Bieber injury, and them still winning the division with a new manager is such a good accomplishment that I have to do it. I have to say their season's a success. And a lot of people had them in last before the season, not me. I either had them winning the division or being a wild card. I think I had them as a wild card, and I had Minnesota winning the division. I have to look back at the preseason predictions. So, close the season, 2 at home against the Reds, and then 3 at home against the Astros. Number 3 is the New York Yankees, 92-64 on the season, plus 447 run differential, 8-2 in their last 10, winners of 3 straight. Home Orioles, home Pirates to close the season. No, I do not think that Aaron Judge is going to break his home run record. He's 8 away, but he's not getting 8 home runs in 6 games. That would be absurd. But can it happen? Could it happen? Can you imagine if Aaron Judge hits 8 home runs in the next 6 games? I've seen him hit 8 homers in 6 games. Why not? I'm not calling it, but it's just a fun idea that I wanted to toss out. He has to have a 3-homer game in there somewhere if he's serious about the record. But it looks like they're going to be the 1 seed, unless if they lose unless if they go like 1-5 in their next 6 and rest guys, and Cleveland plays well against the Reds and the Astros. But Yankees have to go to the World Series. You got Juan Soto for a reason. And you're going to be the 1 seed in all likelihood in the American League. You got to go to the World Series for the season to be a success. The 2 seed, or they're going to be the 2 seed in the National League, potentially. But they're number 2 in my power rankings. The Philadelphia Phillies, 5-5 in their last 10, winners of the NL East, plus 124 run differential. 3 home Cubs and 3 at the Nationals. So they have a good chance to be the 1 seed in the National League. They have to go to the World Series for their season to be a success. And number 1, of course, the best team, best record in baseball, the most talent in baseball. They have the best player in baseball, and that's the Los Angeles Dodgers. 93-63 on the season, plus 133 run differential, 6-4 in their last 10. They've yet to clinch their division, which is crazy. And like I said, the Yankees are probably going to clinch their division before the Dodgers clinch theirs, which is absurd. 3 at home against the Padres, and then 3 at the Rockies. So I think the Dodgers end up with the 2 seed, if you ask me, only because the Phillies have an easier schedule. But you never know. I mean, the Dodgers, I feel like, own the Padres in the regular season, but in the playoffs, they flop against teams like the Padres and the Diamondbacks. So, it's going to be interesting, and Shohei's obviously running away with the NL MVP. The best 2 players in the world are him and Aaron Judge. I mean, you could argue Judge is better only because of the defense aspect of it, but the best offensive player in baseball right now is Shohei Ohtani, and the best all-around player in baseball is Aaron Judge. But like I said, I'd rather have Aaron Judge because he's Aaron Judge. Grateful for him to be on my favorite team. But Shohei Ohtani's right there for best player in the world. And you can pick your poison on either of them, and you can make a case for any of those 2. And the Dodgers, like the Yankees and like the Phils, they have to get to the World Series for the season to be a success. And to me, it's those 3 teams and the Astros. I mean, Atlanta's not going to make the playoffs, but if they were able to somehow sneak in, I guess if they make the ALC or the NLCS somehow, you could argue that that's a successful season because of all the injuries they had, but that's not happening. So there you have it for the power rankings. Now I'm going to do the portfolio. I took a while with the power rankings because we had to do some baseball in there. So I did a Yankee Padre World Series bet. For portfolio last week. Now this week, I don't know what I want to do. I want to look at the NFL. But what about conference odds? There's an intriguing number on the board for the NFC. The Cardinals are 25-1. I mean, they have the offense to do it, but I don't trust their defense, so I don't really want to back them. How about playoffs? Yes, no. The Bengals are only plus 124. What's Denver? Plus 540. That's funny. Looking at the yes-no playoff odds. The Commanders at plus 270 is pretty interesting. The Vikings are now favored to make it. The Rams are plus 310. Dallas is even money both ways. Win totals are still sitting there for teams too, which is pretty funny. And I want to see the Super Bowl. The exact results locked, but whatever. Cardinals to win the Super Bowl is 50-1, by the way. Yeah, I don't love any of the Super Bowl odds. Let's look at the World Series. The Diamondbacks are 27-1. That's a fun one. The Mets are 30-1. That's an interesting one. I want to do another name the finalists. What is Mets Astros? 65-1. I want to bet that. I want to put $5 on that. Why not? That could be the World Series. Why not? Mets Astros 65-1. That's a good one. I have Yankees Padres and Mets Astros as like potential matchups, which is so much fun. No, Mets Astros, that'd be a Yankee fan's nightmare. And then Yankees Padres would be Juan Soto against his old team. All right, now we'll do the news and notes for today. We're going to rapid fire news and notes. So, a random stat from the Monday night game last night between the Commanders and the Bengals. First NFL game with no turnovers or punts since 1940. That's absurd. RG3 posted something on X about Jaden Daniels. He shouts him out, which is exciting. Damar Hamlin had his first career interception off of Trevor Lawrence, which was awesome. More 49ers injuries. Brock Purdy day-to-day with back soreness. Hargrave out for the season with partially torn triceps, likely to miss the rest of the year. Wow. Adam Thielen to miss time with a hamstring injury. That doesn't surprise me. He's always hurt. Raiders safety Marcus Epps out for the season. Set to be a 2025 free agent. Not ideal. Cooper Kupp's missing that Bears game on Sunday. Trey McBride, the Cards tight end, in concussion protocol. Not ideal. Christian McCaffrey traveled to Germany over the weekend to see doctor for Achilles. Wow. A lot of Falcons offensive line injuries. Caleb McGarry, MCL sprain, and Drew Dahlman, high ankle sprain. Justin Herbert x-rays are negative. We'll continue to monitor ahead of week 4. Wyatt Teller could land on IR due to MCL strain. He got hurt against the Giants. Marcus Davenport out for the season with an elbow injury. That's a big loss for the Lions. Also a big loss for the Lions. Frank Ragnow tore his pec and should miss time, but not expect to be season ending. That's brutal. Austin Eckler left with a concussion on Monday Night Football against the Bengals. Sam Darnold has a bruised knee, not expected to miss time. The Raiders are sticking with Gardner Minshew. Derwin James is getting suspended for repeated violations of players' safety rules during the Steelers game. Despite saying that Gardner Minshew is still the starter, before he announced that, Antonio Pierce has not ruled out the move. Executive defense Caleb Williams, as anonymous evaluator, says that he is surviving on his own amid poor O-line and coaching. The Grizzlies are waiving Derrick Rose. It was reported right after 3 o'clock today that the Gonzaga was going to be joining the Pac-12 and will receive full revenue share despite not having football. And then it was reported that it's not done, as sides have had conversations but no deal at the moment. Reggie Bush files NIL lawsuit as he's seeking compensation from the NCAA, USC, and Pac-12 for name, image, and likeness used without permission. Quinn Ewers remains questionable as he may not be available for the Mississippi State game. Mac Brown is finishing the season as he confirms he's not retiring. Amid buzz, he told the team he would step aside. Knicks center Mitchell Robinson to miss the start of the season due to the ankle injury. Won't be back until at least December. Oh my God. That injury was that bad? Or did he have a poor job recovering? Embiid literally stepped on his ankle on purpose and now he's going to miss the start of the season. And that's ironic because Embiid gets hurt every bit as much. The Tigers are promoting their top prospect, Jackson Jobe, amid wildcard push. That's exciting. Supposed to pitch out of the bullpen, too. A Mike Trout trade would be difficult as Angels would have to eat more than half the money to begin negotiations. That's absurd. The Reds had a press conference after the Bell firing as philosophical differences in organization starting immediately. And then the GMs had more comments. LeBron talks about broadcasting as he shouts out Tom Brady, says, "We will see when discussing post-NBA future." And the Mountain West is fighting to keep the core as they're offering one-time payments to prevent schools from leaving for the Pac-12. And then how about this? Memphis, Tulane, USF, and UTSA staying with the American despite the Pac-12 offer. So there you have it for news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to do a 50th of a unit on the pick. And the one I like the most is the Twins on the run line, -1.5 against the Marlins. When in doubt, bet against a bad team. So this is what I'm doing here. Laying the -110, -1.5 with the Twins against the Marlins for my best bet of the day. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. We had everything. We have Survivor. We'll recap Dancing with the Stars and talk about who got eliminated. And we'll do a lot more as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.